Did you ever think about going by the name Christopher?
Well, that is my legal name. So my mom's like very into like the whole Christopher Robin. That was kind of that's how I got the first name of Christopher. Was that she loved the whole Christopher Robin aspect of like Winnie the Pooh. And then my dad's James was my dad's that was his name, so that's how I got my middle name. So that's Christopher James. But I've always just gone by Chris. Like the only people in my family that call me Christopher are like my mom, my grandmothers, and my aunts. That's the only ones that they get to call me Christopher. Everybody else is just it's Chris.
All right. Well, all right. So this is going to be, we're diving into a local veteran-owned gun shop and accessories.
Yep.
So I think guys are going to really enjoy this. This is about a small veteran-owned local gun shop that's been in business since 2022. It's owned by Chris and his dad. This is going to be an interesting podcast if you want to learn about small business and what it takes to run a gun shop.
Yep.
Well, let me go to this little ad and we're going to rock and roll. All right. And then we'll go right here. All right.
We offer home, auto, commercial, builders, reps, and life insurance.
Oliver's good.
Oliver Shots is rich.
Like, I have fun doing that.
Yeah.
Like sit around. If I'm like sitting around, I'm like, I want to see if I can make some little snippet for 15 seconds in the front. All right. Now we're into guys that are just joining in. It's going to be about the gun industry.
Yeah.
All right. So what made you want to get in that?
Well, after joining the Marine Corps after high school, got out of the Marine Corps in 2012. Went and worked for Daniel Defense, worked for them for about 5 years and just loved building guns at that point. And then I went and worked after I got left Daniel Defense, kind of went to school.
So how'd you get the job at Daniel Defense? Did you like walk in?
Actually in South Carolina, I had went to Palmetto State Armory, one of their little like satellite stores, and was like, hey, I'm about ready to get out of the Marine Corps. I'm just looking for a part-time job. And they're like, well, we got nothing. But Daniel Defense is going to be hiring down the road. You try them. And I'm like, who the hell is Daniel Defense? I didn't have no clue who they were. I was like, all right. So I Googled them and they're like, yeah, we're hiring. Send them an application. Day I got out, they actually called me and said, hey, we'd love to do an interview. Went in, talked to Cindy Daniels, who's the, the wife of Marty Daniels, who owns the company. And about 2 weeks later, there I am learning how to build guns, and kind of the rest is history. And then
what was the price point though? Like when you started, do you remember? Because I remember the first time I seen a Daniel Defense AR, it was like over $1,000.
They were still, I want to say, like at that point, I want to say they were about 13, still 1,400, and then the Mark 18s, which were the like really the big ones, there were about 1,800. But as everything went skyrocketed with everything, the prices just keep going up. And
do you know how long? Do you still remember how long it took you to build one of the guns? Because this got to be assembly line, right? I mean, you're making what, 50 ARs at a time?
No, so it just depends. Like, so basically, it's just like any of the other manufacturers. Like, so basically they pre-sell them. So like, say they'll sell like 25 guns. So we basically had like a build of 25. So there's like 6 assemblers at the time. So, they broke them up and basically you built it. So at that point, like when I first started out, it maybe took,
bring your mic up just a little more.
Maybe it took like 15 minutes to start building, like start to finish to build a gun. And then after that, it just started becoming, 15 minutes turned into 10 minutes. And then from 10 minutes.
But were they a small shop, or they didn't have did they have a one of them belts, like a.
No, yeah, it wasn't you're not picking apart. And no, it was basically at that point, they were two separate places. So they originally started out in Black Creek, Georgia, and that's where they started. And then they got too big for that location. So they bought a manufacturing spot in Ridgeland, South Carolina. And that's where they moved the actual armory, which is the ones that were building the guns. They moved that up to South Carolina. So the guns were the barrels and stuff were being built down in Georgia, being shipped up to South Carolina, and all the parts are being built there and then shipped from South Carolina to the distributors.
Where was the lowers done?
They're in South Carolina too.
Okay.
So, and then about 20, I want to say, so I got fired in 2017. So about 2017, right before I got fired, is when they announced that they were building a bigger building to have everything back down in Georgia. So that's when they started making everything back again down in Georgia. So they've been making everything in Georgia since then.
Was it like a kind of a separation of Daniel Defense, or was it good terms or bad?
It was bad terms. It's just, I think I had gotten too big for my britches there at Daniel Defense. I made some really good friends, and then I made some enemies that just kind of didn't like the fact that I had probably pissed off the wrong people like I usually do, and just it snowballed from there. And when you get walked out, and the next thing you know, you got the sheriff's department there, and you're like, okay, they're afraid of me. I'm like, all right, what's the funny story is, like, I saw the CFO at a car wash down in Savannah, and next thing you know, like, he sees me and I see him and I say hi, and next thing I know, he's like getting in his car and driving off like I'm gonna attack him or something. But other than that, I still talk to some of the guys that still work there, and I recommend Daniel Defense products. You're not like I said, sometimes you're not a fit of places. It's one of those things that I thought I was, but then everything happens for a reason. Like I said, I then went and started working, went to school at the University of South Carolina in Beaufort. The school kind of wasn't my thing. I was just kind of, out of a job and was using my GI Bill to pay the bills. Was having a really hard time. The TBI and the PTSD just really messed with me in college. And then COVID hit, and that really kind of made it. I was working part-time at a shop, and my experience with Daniel Defense kind of helped people with, their purchasing of firearms. So I kind of enjoyed that, my experience of, people coming in and asking, like, hey, what would you recommend for this? And I was like, all right, well, what do you plan on? Is it something you plan on carrying, or is this something you plan on just having at your house for home defense? I don't want to sell you a Desert Eagle if you plan on carrying it, but if you want to have it as your home defense because you want to shoot, somebody breaking into your neighbor's house through their refrigerator, by all means, yeah, here's a Desert Eagle if you want one. I just enjoy that aspect of,
that'd be wild. It's like some suburban dads ask for a Desert Eagle for home defense.
you never know. I have one down there at the shop that's a 44 mag. So, it's, which is actually funny because, after Jurassic Park came out with Chris Pratt, the Marlin SBL 4570 actually on the box says it's rated for T-Rex. Yeah, it has T-Rex. It's rated 4570 is rated for T-Rex.
That's sick.
So yeah, it's, but it's just, I enjoy people coming in and asking questions about guns. At that point too, I was actually doing fire.
Does it keep it rated for still to this day?
I don't know. I haven't seen a Marlin SBL in quite a long time, so I don't know if they still have it on the box. I know when the movie came out, and that's what made the SBL was a very popular rifle anyway, but that movie has just made it so much more popular.
And it's a badass looking gun.
It is. There's a movie, I can't remember what the name of it is, but it's got Jeremy Renner in it, and the chick that plays the Scarlet Witch. It's stationed there. They're in Alaska. He's like some sort of hunter of some sort, and he's using an SBL in and he's like sniping people with this SBL.
Yeah.
And we're watching this movie, and my wife's like, I want that gun. And I'm like, no, you don't, because that thing kicks the movie, they're just showing him shooting it. Like, that thing kicks.
Do you think they're paying to get their gun placement, or you think they're just sourcing guns and getting like a free gun?
It's a possibility. I mean, the 4570 is they're awesome.
Well, let's keep in mind, the Total Recall had the Vector in it.
Yes.
So, I mean, that's a stood out gun. It's like when you see that, you're like, oh shit. Yeah. It does have that kind of look there. I mean, because like for me, if I say like home defense, what are them little M&P with the little crimson laser?
Yeah.
So it's that 30. Was it a 380?
Yeah. So you got the Bodyguard, and they just came out with the new ones, which are kind of making those the little bodyguards. The Gen 1's a little obsolete. I'm not a big fan of like the lasers, just because they give away your position. If the laser's going out, people can know exactly where it's coming from. So even if they can't see you, but they see this laser coming out, they like, bang, 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 bang.
But
bang. Yeah.
Is it optional where you can't touch the laser?
You can, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think it's a lot of has to do with like,
it's personal preference again, but it's just it goes back to if somebody else can see the laser, then they can see where you're at, and just one of those things.
So we're going into, all right, you went to school wasn't doing good for you. I know you talked a little bit about PTSD. So could we dive in a little bit of when you started having them real serious symptoms? Because it's something that people, understand of you, that you speak on it, and you think, when did you start realizing that was a real serious, I need to go see a doctor?
Getting help on it?
Yeah.
When I started having like the panic attacks for no reason, like the first sign of it was, I self-medicated a lot when I was in the Marine Corps. I didn't want to, so back then it was, if you started saying, hey, I need help, like they would just like push you out the door and just, all right, and at that time I was like, all right, I'm still going to try to make this a career, blah, 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 blah. So I just self-medicated, just drank it down, did what I had to do. I was it was right before I started school. I had gotten off of work at Daniel Defense. I was going home, and I took away that I normally don't go home. And we were at a three-way it was a stop, and this guy on a motor scooter was going south on the road, and the next thing you know, the car just like pulled out in front of it, and the guy, I like literally watched his head go into her fender, and I was like, saw that happen, and like I was instantly like back in Iraq, and I was just whole, and called my wife, and I was just like, he's gone. Excuse me. I was like, he's gone. And she's like, oh, hold on, calm down. And that kind of just threw me into it. And then I was in an art class, and I was trying to draw this thing, and like, I couldn't get it. I couldn't get it to do what I wanted it to do. And I just like bolted out of the class and just broke down. And I was just like, oh my God, why am I like the iWatch was going off, like, your heart beats this, and I was like, holy shit, I'm having a heart attack. Had an instant panic attack in the freaking middle of an art class just because I couldn't get a damn line to go where I wanted it to go, and started getting it. And then at that point, the nightmares that I was having started to ramp up. I was waking my wife up at night, because I was doing call for fire, like I was reliving missions, I was doing all this stuff, and she's like, all right, you've got to go get help. And so went in there, And I was like, hey, this is what's going on. And they're like, all right, we're going to start on this. And so went through the list of medications until finally started getting on the stuff that
They're comfortable with?
tolerant. Yeah.
What were them kind of tests for? Like when you're saying that you had to try different types of,
so like you start
like a week, 2 weeks?
Yeah, it's my biggest thing is like I would start on the medication and like I would feel, and this is what I would tell them was like I would start the medication and then like 2 to 3 days I would start feeling like I'd be sitting here, but I'd feel like I was sitting over here in this chair. Like I was just having like an out of body, like I was out of body experiences. And I'm like, I don't like this. I go call my primary care. I was like, I'm not taking this meds. So they're like, all right, we'll go to the next one. And then I'm like, well, this is causing me to, then I'd have rages where I'd put my, I'd go fly off the handle. I'm like, all right, I don't like the way this is making me feel. All right, well, we're going to take this one. And like, all right, well, this is messing with me and my wife in the bedroom. I'm not taking this one. All right, we'll go to this one. All right. And it's just over and over. And you had to go down the list. It couldn't just be like, all right, my friends, I got to have friends that be like, all right, well, I've done good on this one. I'd go to my primary care guy and be like, hey, can I try this one? He's like, oh, we can't do that one yet. You got to take this.
And where are you going to? Were this
the VA?
The VA? Okay,
Yeah.
this is what I was going to ask you.
Yeah, it's all through the VA. Like I was doing all my stuff through the VA, so it was like, you got to go play that game of you got to try. It's this step of you got to do this and this. Like, and then, like I said, I got friends that do the medical marijuana now, and they go to the VA once a year just to have their check and say, all right, yeah, and that's all but yeah, it messed with me pretty bad because I was one of those guys that, all these guys coming out of like boot camp and stuff are like, oh, I've been traumatic. And I'm like, dude, you ain't seen nothing yet. And I was one of those that, it ain't real. It ain't real. It's all, And then it just, all of it came crashing down on me.
And what year was this, you think?
I got it out in 2012. It actually started about 2017. Like honestly, in my record books, like we lost twin boys in 2009. And in I had to go talk to a psychiatrist before all this. And she was telling me, she's like, she goes, if this doesn't snap, because I've gone through, I've seen friends get blown up by this and that and all the other stuff. And she goes, and then she was surprised that I just wasn't off the deep end when I lost my boys. She goes, there's going to be some sort of event that's just going to snap you. And you're just going to, she goes, heaven help the world when you snap. And I think that day that I witnessed that guy in an accident just kind of snapped me, and I haven't been the same ever since.
So what were things that you started? I mean, things that got you from 17 to 2022, getting your mind right and opening a gun store.
It was the being able to going and shooting guns is therapeutic to me. Going out there, just drawing, just going out there and just shooting. So I've been shooting guns since I was little, from hunting with family to, Cub Scouts, Boy Scouts, shooting guns, archery, all that stuff. That's just been something that I've done since I was little. I can go out to the range and just, go shoot. It's therapy. And with the knowledge that I have from, just my Marine Corps days of being those type of instructors, to the combat experience that I've had in those. And then just in South Carolina, I used to teach basic pistol training to people that were wanting to get their concealed weapons permit. But the guy that did the classes, he was a firefighter. So he didn't have the time to actually help people like get the training before his class. So he'd send them to me. I would teach them, the course of fire, train them how to do, sight alignment, sight picture, trigger control, breathing, all the marksmanship stuff that they would need. So then that way, when they take the class, they would have the idea, know exactly what, when he went through the class, he knew what they were doing, they were ready to go.
And then, so let's say like, so you get into there, you're getting into how long were you doing the pistol training?
I was doing it from basically 17 until we moved. I got down here and then I applied for a couple instructor positions over at the CB base. Never heard anything back. So I was just like, I talked to my dad and I was like, hey, I got a little bit of money from the sale of the house. Maybe this is what I'm supposed to do. Maybe I thought about it. I just didn't want to go work at the pawn shops. That's just because I didn't want to. Guns are my thing. I didn't do the pawn stuff. Other stuff of the pawns is I don't.
Yeah, I mean, it takes a special person to get into like gold jewelry
and all that. That's
I mean, let's talk about triple diamond pawn. George, he's big into like gold.
Yeah,
you have to have a passion. Like people don't realize. Like Steven, I mean, if you ever watch Steven with Hot Caliber, he's big into gold, and that's like when they first had their pawn shop. But like he could pick a watch gold. You have to have like
you got to have that.
Like he likes antiques.
Yeah,
like what I mean. But you got to have that certain eye. Like George has that for like guitars and stuff. But you have that certain eye. But it was always gold watches. Yeah, and that if you can get into it, that's when a pawn shop can kill it.
It's just that's not me. Guns are my thing. And then I like being able to have conversations with people about guns. I mean, it's not all. Yeah,
I got a shout out to my cousin Tyson too. Sorry about y'all's loss at Biloxi Pawn.
I love talking about guns. So I got people that come in and they like asking questions. I don't want people to feel rushed when they come into the shop. I want.
Do you want an educational experience?
Kinda. I want you to be able to. In all fairness, not against the pawn shops, but I don't want you to have that like pawn feeling when you come into the shop. I just want it to be a gun store. You walk in and there's guns. There's a dog that, yes, he barks at you, but there's going to be a shop dog there that he's going to come up to you and he's going to beg you for pets, and then he's going to roll over on the ground. And yeah, he sounds vicious, but he's a big softy. But just you want to come in and talk about, hey, I've seen this type of gun. Can you build that? Absolutely.
You got some seats, a bench to set around for a bunch of old timers and tell some stories.
Well, you say that, but that is what I wanted to. It was like, so the future plans of the shop is I do want to have a spot. Like I want to do something like with maybe have coffee that's available, have some tables, maybe some couches set up where people can come in and just have a spot where people, kind of like a barbershop where you can just come in and
did you ever get a Jerry's shooting iron?
I did not.
I love that. I love that place, and it was like 19. It's close. He's retired now, but he owned that. He's been there so long, but he had this. He had carpet in there, but he had some rocking chairs for him and his buddy. And then you go in there, and his buddy's telling you stories.
Well, my showroom. So at the first shop that we rented out had carpet in it, and the one thing that I did notice about it with I probably will have carpet in the next place, just because the noise was so much. Even with Jack's barking at people, it wasn't as loud as it is at our new spot.
Why do you think I took this carpet out? Yeah, so but the thing is, he had like that. I think it was like a yellow or green, like 70s swag style.
Yeah.
I mean, it had some good deals though, man. I mean, it was an old dusty building, but he always had some ammo in there, and he always had, believe it or not, he was ahead of the curve when it comes to like some tactical guns. I mean, I was able to pick up. That's where I picked up my Scar. 17.
Mhm.
But like you would go in there and he'd have like some revolvers. It's a pistols, and all of a sudden it's like, who ordered tactical guns? I did.
Yeah.
but it's most of his stuff was like hunting shotguns.
Yeah.
It was
I plan on, like I said, it's going to be a work in progress. If I had the funds, like I would have some. It's like the vision that I have in my shop is going to be like one of those, like it's going to be like they're different sections. Like it's going to be like, you're going to walk in and kind of be like, you start out, it's going to be like the little hunting section. You know, you're going to have the bolt actions that you're going to need for this, but you're going to see, a hybrid at the end of it, or you're going to see it on a tripod, or you're going to see it on with, just everything and anything. And then you'll get to like I'm going to call it the commie section, where it's going to be the AKs and the different variants of the AKs. And then, you're going to have the AR sections where it's going to be this, that, and the other for the ARs. And then you're going to have your tactical.
So you're gonna be like, you're gonna have build outs too.
Yes, I do want to have it where people can come in and build their own, like pick their own parts, and have it where they can go in the back and actually they'll be able to build their gun, and you be able to make sure that everything that you pick is legal, so that way you don't need any extra paperwork for it. Make sure what parts that you pick out will work with what you pick out.
I'm thinking like you're trying to do like a little small school.
Kinda. The goal is basically, and a lot of people say you shouldn't tell what your goals are, your business plans are, but I'm one of those, is if you put it out there, eventually it'll. I want to purchase the old vet's office off of Cedar Lake, and basically you walk into it, and that front area would be the showroom area. So, like I said, I'd have it where you have the guns. I'd have a little spot where, like I said, where we have coffee, and I want to hire veterans. I want to hire maybe some off-duty cops and stuff. I want to have it like on Wednesdays and Fridays, do like a women's night where it's only females in the building, female instructors, have those in there. Then on Saturday mornings, have a educational class for kids, gun safety classes, have free gun safety class. Concealed weapons permit classes, have a spot where instructors, that they need a spot to go teach, they can rent the classroom, they can rent the range, do all of that there. I want to do full auto rentals. I want to do a place where people can rent a Barrett. You can shoot a Barrett there. The ranges will be rated for 50 BMG. So there ain't nothing in there that you won't be able to shoot. All the new guns that'll be up in the front, basically they'll be in the back at the range for rent. So that way, before you buy the gun, you can go in the range and shoot it before you buy it. So make sure that that's the actual one that you want.
Yeah, so this is like more of a hands-on experience.
Yeah.
Like at school, you're gonna be teaching classes.
There'll be teaching classes. There'll be, like I said, basic marksmanship with the pistol, teaching people how, sight alignment, sight picture, trigger control, the breathing, all of those, the fun inner basics of a pistol. It'll also be, and everybody's like, oh, the insurance is going to kill you. I'm like, it's going to be what it is. Cause basically by the time if I get it to the point where I can have full auto rentals, I'm going to basically be printing money at that point. Cause people are going to be like, oh, I can rent a full auto, and it's not going to be a little 22 that you rent.
How many gun ranges offer that? Is there any in the state of Mississippi?
That I don't know. I know there was one in South Carolina that I know of. I know there are a couple ranges that I know of. I mean, most of them are out like in Vegas area. It's something that they tie off in Vegas. Orlando's has a few around there. It's just something that I want to bring to the coast. I want it to be a place again. I know a lot of people are, when they think of indoor gun range, they always think of it as a stationary shooting place. will allow people to draw from the holster and engage targets, because I feel if you're going to carry a gun, you need to be able to draw from the holster and be able to shoot a target. Because if you don't train and draw from the holster, it's possibly by the time you have to actually use that, you're going to shoot yourself in that situation. Failure to stop drills is another target that a lot of places don't allow people to train with, which is, just shooting one in the chest doesn't necessarily stop a threat. Teaching people a failure to stop drills, 2 to the chest, 1 in the head, or 1 in the groin. Multiple target engagement, shoot one, shoot second one, then go back to the first one. That's especially if
Have you ever been on one of them courses?
Yeah. I've instructed courses like that back in the past.
Have you ever done the three gun?
I've done 3 guns in South Carolina. They're pretty fun. I mean, it's.
Did you 3 gun in the competition, or you 3 gun like? Was there a place to 3 gun?
There was a place to 3 gun up in South Carolina. I've done 3 gun competitions. They're fun. It's speed and accuracy. I enjoy them. I like a lot more as I've gotten bigger, because I don't exercise as much as I have. I'm gotten more liking into like the long range, slow shooting. I do need to get back into the gym so that I can be a little bit more healthy for my child. But I like the long range shooting stuff now more than the 3 gun aspect now.
It's just a lot of work to do 3 gun.
It is a lot of run, and it's not really a lot of running. It's just right now it's just a lot of out in the heat. And like I take I'm one of those weird ones, like my blood pressure medicine. A lot of people say their blood pressure medicine makes them cold. Mine just like turns me into an oven. Like I can walk outside and just instantly just start sweating. And I'm one of the rare ones that just I start sweating. So that's why I don't do a lot of stuff outside anymore, because I just instantly, if I don't have a towel, I'm like drenched.
What's your thoughts on VR combat training?
It's pretty good. I've done I think there's SIG's got one out now. That's one I've done that one. That's pretty good.
Can you get a certification if you use them? You think they'll eventually be that way, where you can VR class instead of going to actually do?
I'm hoping that they will, because in talks with another store that actually has the indoor simulator. I'm hoping that they will, because it's the same thing. A lot of it's just trying to make sure they maintain the that, hey, somebody's actually shot. And a lot of the simulators, especially the VR's, got the blowback on with the guns and stuff. So I mean, it's still the same concept as you're shooting a target. I would think that it would, if it was like the environmentalist, I'd be like, yeah, they should push the VR stuff for. They're not destroying the environment with all the lead going into the ground. And
well, no, I was just saying, because you look at now, it's as it gets more and more and more, with the VR, you're seeing, and I know that there got to be some training just to have it as a simulator, but I think that could be something cool for like some training down here. I mean, there's just not a lot of gun ranges. I mean, that's one thing I wish they had more gun ranges. And I know nothing wrong. I mean, there's a few down here.
Yep.
But what do you got down here? You got Gung Ho. You got
Gung Ho.
Will Market.
You got McHenry. There's a gentleman that's trying to put one out there off of Shriners Boulevard.
You got one like Pascagoula Men's Club, right?
I think so. You got highway. You got the what is it? The Mississippi over off Highway 67. Across from the DMV, the Mississippi Pistol and Rifle Club. That's the members only club. They do a lot of stuff out there. It's too hot for me.
Yeah.
It's I do want to have like I said, the range. I want to have it set up where if people want to come in and do it, where you can, because there's so much material that you can put on the walls now that can keep you from shooting and actually hitting the walls. It's like this gelatin type stuff that you can put on the walls that you shoot into it, and basically they come in, they pull it off like Jello mold, and they take it away, put new stuff up, and take the lead out of it. And
Yeah, it's kind of like them. I've seen them like that when they did the clear dummies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
ballistic gels. Yeah.
Yeah. I was wondering also too is with now with gun sales on the internet, it's ramped up massively over the years now.
That actually is my kind of like our bread and butter at my shop. I offer, like, my transfers are just $25. If I could do like 10 a day, I would be a happy camper, because then my bills are paid, everything's taken care of, and then I can start putting money aside for the building. I get stuff from Palmetto all the time just because, Palmetto is a multi-million-dollar company. I just can't compete with them, but I'll be happy to take that $25. The online stores are just, they're really, I wouldn't say they're killing the small mom and pop stores. That's kind of what they're doing. Like, you got Bud's Gun Store, you've got
Tombstone, huh?
Tombstone's another big one out in Arizona. So basically what those are a lot of them is what they do is they do drop shipping, so they don't really have the guns in the store. Is basically what they do is you order it off the store and then the distributor sends it to my shop. So I'm getting it they're ordering it from Tombstone, but it's being distributed from, like, say, RSR or Sports South. They're just drop shipping it from them, and Tombstone's getting a check and they're paying the distributor, and the distributor sending it to me. So it's not really something that's in their inventory. It's just like, so I have an online store. My online store is tied to my distributors, which is basically the same thing. But instead of me drop shipping it, sending it to somebody else, it gets shipped to my store. Like, you're just buying it at the store. Palmetto just is one of those companies that they do the same thing. They do have drop shipping too, because I'll get some people that buy stuff from Palmetto and then it comes from RSR. So that's just the way a lot of the online stuff is working now.
And then when did you start doing your raffles?
I just started the raffle. So the one that we got now is the Daniel Defense H9, which is their new handgun pistol that they just came out with. Those are $20 a ticket. I got like 38 tickets left before we do the drawing. After this one's done, I may throw a poll out on Facebook and see what kind of raffles, what kind of gun people want to do next. I may do a little bit more on the ticket, with less tickets to sell, so then that way it goes quicker. That we have that raffle going on right now, and then we're offering a membership to try to help raise funds for the building. And one is $20. That's our silver membership, and that gets you one free transfer a month. You get discounts on the services that we provide, which is we do the gun cleaning, we do a little bit of gunsmithing, we ship guns, I do bore sighting, I do optics mounting. Basically anything and everything that needs to be done with guns, I can do it or I outsource it. I have a guy that does my Cerakote and does laser engraving, so I outsource that. If it's something for the gunsmithing that I can't do, I'll have a gunsmith out in Pass Christian that I take stuff to, and I have him get stuff taken care of for me. We can sign guns as well. So if you got guns that you want to try to get rid of or sell, I can do it for you through Gunbroker. Sell the guns on for you for Gunbroker. I charge 20%. Basically what it is you give me the high number that you're trying to get for it. I'll add my 20% to it. You give me a low number, so that way I don't have to keep calling you saying, hey, I got this offer. What do you think? And I know exactly what you want for it. I try to get you the highest I can for it, and the shop get its 20%.
Has it worked?
It does. There have been some times where I haven't gotten the people their complete high asking price, but everybody seems to be okay with. I haven't gotten anybody lower than what they've asked for. So
Yeah, I mean, it's a weird industry, especially.
yeah,
I started getting into that, and that's when I started learning about buds and stuff like that. And then you look at like you have a some local gun stores. It's crazy too as you see gun stores now ramping up with. Back in the day they were just like I said, it was mainly hunting guns.
Yeah.
And now it's a whole different.
Well, you got
suppressors now.
Yeah. You got the people that want to go hunt hogs. And, that's a totally different animal. Now you get that 300 blackout crowd that, well, I got to have an AR. And you got some people that still want to hunt hogs with a bolt action. And I always tell people, good luck. I'd rather have something that shoots 30 rounds versus 4, but it's just me.
What else? So that's good on the hog hunters, but like, what about the pistols and stuff? I mean,
that's even the people want to shoot the pistol suppressed.
What's the most popular? The 22.
I always recommend, especially if it's a first time shooter. If it's something like, I'll ask you again, it goes back to like, well, what's the gun? What's the purpose for the firearm? Is it something you're going to use for self-defense, or is it just something that you want to take to the range and go have fun with? Because if it's something you just want to go have fun with, I'm gonna put a 22 in your hand all day long. And the reason why is because I can sell you 100 rounds of 22 ammo for $11. I know that's crazy to some people because they're like 22 used to be like 100 rounds used to be like $6. But yeah, now it's depending on who you buy it can or what distributors have it at what price, at what point I can get it for. But 100 rounds at, $10 versus $30 or $20 for 50 rounds of 9mm just to go plink at the range. You're going to have a lot more fun with the 22 than you are at the 9mm.
Yeah. I mean, I'm with you on that 22 situation. Cause I mean, I've shot a bunch of them and
honestly, I shoot more 22 than I do anything else. Like I train, like I have a Glock 44 that I've shot more times than anything else. And like, it's got more rounds through most of my guns at the house.
Have you seen how they're doing like these conversion kits with this? Like they turned it into a P90.
Yep.
Have you done that yet?
I have not done that one yet. No, I have seen that. I've had, like I said, at the shop in South Carolina that I used to work at, we had 2 P90 22 conversions.
Yeah. Oh no, I'm talking. This is this one. I've seen them, but I'm saying it's the was it Ruger 1022 or
that you can.
You take that one and you put the P90 on it, and they put that banana clip on it. That's sick.
I had a friend of mine that had the Ruger Charger in 22, and then put the binary trigger on it, and then put the drum with, I think it was a Sparrow. Anyway, he put a suppressor on it with the binary trigger on it, and it is about the funnest thing. And then I had one friend that had I had a Glock.
I think I had a Glock. No, I had a Glock. Was a I had one of them Glocks, a 9mm Glock. Not the 23, it was 19, I think.
Yeah.
And I had a drum for it. And I had a slide and a barrel for it.
I custom built an AR9, and I had a drum for it, and I sold it. And then, because I've had times where I've built things and I've had it like at the shop. This is more in South Carolina. Like I got finished building it, and like I put, just being dumb, showing it to people, and a guy come walk into the shop and be like, "I've been looking for that. How much?" I just built this. They're like, my boss be like, "How much you want for it?" I'm like, "Okay." And then eventually I'd build another one. And that's my love is I love building the custom ones. Like just listening to a customer, like, all right, this is what I want. Can we build it? Yeah, we can build it. We got to do it with quality parts though.
What's the craziest thing you built?
Craziest? not really. They're not really crazy. It's just everything's got a purpose. Like I would say, like, so I think the I wouldn't really call it crazy. Like I built a 10.5 inch, it was a Wilson Combat barrel, but I used Spike's Tactical parts. Like I did the bar rail. So it was kind of like the spider web kind of look to it. And then I had the Nomad L, which is what I bought. Cause originally what I thought about doing was it was going to be my, hog gun. Cause I was going to do 300 blackout. And I had just got the suppressor in. So I had just put it in. Like literally I got the upper and I had it all put together, and I just got the suppressor and I just put it in there, and a gentleman walked into the shop and was looking at it, and he goes, I'll give you $1,300 for that. I think I had like $400 in parts in it. And he offered me $1,300 for it. And I'm like, well, you can't have the suppressor. He goes, all right, $1,300. I'm like, okay. And then my boss is like, well, you got to get a part of that for the shop. I'm like, okay.
So that's kind of, are you doing builds this way at your, like location, like you get your second location?
Yeah.
Are you still doing some fun builds that people are still buying off the shelf?
I did. I built the last one that I did was, I wouldn't say it was just a basic. It was an 8.5 inch pistol. I did SBA tactical brace on it. It was Spike Tactical upper lower, Geisley trigger in it, Wilson Combat bolt carrier group, and the barrel, Magpul flip sights, and a Hollow Sun red dot on it, and then I put a Yankee Hill suppressor on it. And CB bought it like 17.
So I mean, you do make money with custom builds.
Yeah, I do make some money on them. I try not to make. I try to keep them simple. It just depends on what the person wants to do with it. Like I will show some people some things, and the more popular stuff is what gets into the heavy on the price point is when you start adding color. Color starts adding value. The price starts going up when you start adding color. Like people start asking for like red or those. You got to get those special parts.
Get that gold barrel.
You laugh. I'm
saying this is Call of Duty people.
I had one in the shop. I actually had a customer that we took an Anderson, and I took Gun Tech parts, and it was 24 karat gold plated parts, and I had it on the wall for less than a day, and a guy came in and bought it, and I got his other two guns that we thought would sell quickly are still sitting there. I came in and like, I gotta have it.
Yeah, I mean,
and yeah, I'm not. Me and my dad were both like the same. This is gonna sit for a while, and like I said, the next day, guy come in and is like, "I want that." I'm like, "That's what you want?"
I think that's a lot of times like that. I mean, I'll go in there and do some. Like I said, I had that that ACR 300 blackout. Number one, you don't see them a lot. And so I kind of was looking over like, wait a minute, is that it? And, at the time it was like the Magnapol, like it was their first concept gun. And I was like, wait a minute. And then all of a sudden I could tell that KGB rails, you could tell how their style of them kind of. And I was like, man, this is the gun with a rail on it. And came with the stock rail too. But it was my eye catching. Because if you're looking down, I mean, unless you really, it does, man. And if anybody, like if you go and there's a Mercedes and it's got nicer wheels on it, or a golf cart. Like I just got my new golf cart where my golf cart's got rims on it. But like you're seeing these golf carts go from like the old golf carts from the golf course. Now they're sitting on mud tires and rims and shocks.
Yeah.
And it's just a thing where it's just like you see that, and then you see a regular golf cart.
Oh yeah.
It's just human. It could be human nature.
It catches your eye. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm one of those. So there's a company called Orion that has what they did was they took a pistol and it's a Boba Fett themed Cerakote through it. I want this thing so bad. And my wife's like, we got other bills that we need to pay. And I'm like, but I can get it for this price. And she's like, I don't care what price you can get it. I'm just like, and like my distributor will send it to me every day. I get it. We have X amount left. And it's every day. It's like one ticks away every day. And I'm like, does my daughter really need to go to school? Can we not just put her in public school? And I'm always like, no, I'm like, whatever. But no, I get you on the yes. When you start putting bling on stuff, some people,
yeah, I mean,
it does.
Especially now. I mean, there's, like I said, what year was it? Was it 2013 when I got my Vector? But like they were rare to find. Like it was 14 maybe, but they're rare to find. Like to find that kind of stuff. Like and now you could there's more guns out there like this now, and it's just, look at like Ruger.
Yeah. Well, so Ruger.
And plus, I like Rock River, so
nothing wrong with a Rock River.
I'm a Rock River fan.
There's nothing wrong. Like I said, my boy back in South Carolina rocks one, so 1911. Absolutely loves his.
Yeah, my buddy Trey, he's the one that got me into getting my 1911 Kimber. And not 1911, not a Kimber, 1911 Rock River TCM 22. But I was like, shot it once. I'm like, this is a good gun. And it was, good prices. It's just crazy now. It's like seeing these like ARs or, now when these like companies like Ruger, they really start like, we'll make an AR.
Yeah.
It's not a bad gun out of the box.
No. A lot of people are like Andersons.
What's the cheapest quality AR you think? And give me a ballpark, a couple $100 off price wise. Or,
I would say my go-to, like if I tell, like somebody asks me and they're like, hey, I want to get a good, I will put an Anderson out there as a good starter gun. Unfortunately, Anderson just got picked up by Ruger, so don't know how much longer Anderson stuff will be out there. The next one up would probably be Diamondback. I'm all about so Diamondback would be the next one that I tell people. Radical Firearms is another good one that's out there.
And where are these prices at for?
You can get Andersons right now. You could probably get those out there for probably $350. Just depending on what the distributor has them out there for. Some people can get them for less because obviously the more you can buy, the cheaper you get them for. You buy stuff in bulk, you get it cheaper. Me, I'm one of those guys. I can only buy stuff onesies at a time as people order it, so I don't get the best price at that. So Diamondbacks, I got some of them on the website right now. I think they're at $500. I got some at $450 and some at $500. So it just all depends on your price point on it. There's nothing wrong with the ATIs. I just tell people, just don't get the ones that are made out of the polymers.
So when I was in it, it was High Points.
I am not a fan of the High Point.
I know, but I'm saying that was a lot. There wasn't that many low range guns.
But High Point was
it was like High Point.
Yeah,
I mean it was, and then I'll tell you what, Ruger started really when Ruger released that Creekmore 6.5. That's where really you start seeing Ruger make some. I mean, they did that AR they did that AR, their polymer AR. That was a hit, but I'll tell you what, that Ruger 6.5 Creekmore, it definitely put it, because it was a good looking gun and it had a good price point.
Yep.
And people just, and all of a sudden people were just grabbing onto it. That was a real sharp tactical rifle.
The American is a good little hunting, especially if you want to get somebody out, like if they want to start hunting. The American is a good one to go on to. The Patriot's another good one to put them on to. You can't go wrong with the Mossberg.
Yeah, but let's go with your what's your favorite affordable, and then we'll do expensive. What's your favorite pistol?
So my favorite
for the value and the quality.
People are probably gonna be like, I have no issues with like the Tauruses.
Okay.
I've had no problems with any of the Tauruses that I've put in my hands and shot and little shooting things that we've done. I mean, I've had some that, $200. I've shot the $300. The G3s are great. Great little starter ones. They got the new little GX4s or little compact ones that kind of mimic don't mimic a SIG, but they got the feel of like a 365. Those can range around $400 price points.
All right, let's go into what's your favorite high-end pistol?
I want a Viper. I want the John Wick Viper. That's the Terran Tactical.
Terran Tactical. What's that gun set back?
About 9K.
9K?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, let's walk ourselves into the shotguns.
A lot of people haven't. There's a company out there that I've dealt with. It's called a little bit of a brain fart, but I want to say I think it's 20 Tactical Aces. I think it's the name of them. They make some kind of like Benelli kind of clones that are dependable. Those can range about $300-$400. The G-Force ones are not bad either. The Panzer ones that PSA put out, those are good ones as well. They kind of mimic a Benelli, but you can't go wrong with a Benelli.
All right, so let's go into the high-end shotgun for you. And these are for my friends driving to Ingalls in the morning. I want to know what.
Again, I can't go wrong with Benelli. They're gonna do what they need to do. You gonna pull the trigger on a Benelli, it's gonna do what you need it to do.
So I'd go for what is it? The Spaz.
Spaz are good, yeah.
I'm just saying for iconic for me.
An iconic one.
I'm saying on my behalf.
If I could get one, if money was no option, I'd probably get an Origin 12 from Fostech.
Yeah.
That's the world.
Do they still sell them?
They do. I am a Fostech dealer.
And what do they sell for?
Oh, you're looking about $3,000.
That's the one that looks like something from Gears of War, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was a good one.
And the drum is about $500 for it. And yeah, my boss in South Carolina owned one short barrel variant of the SBS version of it, and it fast as you can pull the trigger, it will shoot those rounds as fast as you.
Yeah, it's like so. Mine was and I got that from Steven at High Caliber. Was I didn't even know what it was. A Utah's is I think it's the 3rd or 4th gen. It's the better version of it, but it's a Utah's 15. And he was just like, "Hey man," and I was like, "You want to get this shotgun?" And some guy just bought it, and his wife made him trade it in. And I think I got paid $700 for it. And I was like, "But I love it. I mean, I love number one. I'm not a massive shotgun person, but I like a pump, and just something about them shells in the slots. Just like I said, and I used it on Call of Duty, but I felt like that. Like I said, $700 for that shotgun. Like I said, that it was just always stuff. Some of the stuff I would find with, for instance, was being just wanted to see like a different style type of gun. Like I'm not a big AR guy, but you know, I do have an AUG, and it's a Microtech. So like it's a US patent Israeli AUG. But I was just fascinated with that gun. And then, you know, that's just one of them guns. So it's like, it's just hard for me to go, maybe I want an AR, but I mean, it is an AR, but I just like the shorter shoulder comfort.
I've loved the AUG since Die Hard. I've wanted one since then. I still don't know. I don't have one in my collection. I've shot plenty of my buddies. Absolutely love them. I just, like I said, once I started working at Daniel Defense and started building ARs, and then I got that bug of building ARs. I'm just, I like making it my own. Of like, all right, what am I like the one that I want now? Like the one that I want that I not plan on building myself is a Patriot Ordnance. It's a 308, but it weighs like an AR-15. And like you pick this thing up, and it's just so light. The Rogue, Patriot Ordnance Rogue. And I had one in the shop, and I put all my stuff on it. Like I put my thermal on it, I put my suppressor on it, and just feeling it. And I even put like a loaded magazine in it just to feel it. Like all the stuff that I put on for like my hog gun. I was like, having this on my hog gun, like I'm like, this is just amazing.
You're seeing a big jump now from there, like with now. I think when I first started seeing or like looking at parts for guns, I mean, I remember ordering a trigger from Zeph, you know, like just buying parts, sourcing around. But it's cool to see. Like I used to be like super. It was my buddy Junior Bennett. He's a real big gun guy, so he was able to help me out a lot. But like this one company's like Phase 5 Tactical. They're one of the first ones to do the smaller ARs, and they just did the CNC parts and just the little efforts that they did. And you look at like Junior. I know you're listening to this, but or you'll probably listen to it tomorrow. But it was, might get this wrong, but it was the Bomber lower, and then it was the Warthog lower. And I think the Warthog lower. It was CNC, but in the lower, but where the magazine is, it was a CNC Warthog.
Yeah,
I don't know the company. I forget.
Well, you got Spike's Tactical does stuff like that too. So they got like
I think that's a Spike.
They got a Samurai. They got a Crusader mask. They got, what else do they got? They got another one that they do. They do stuff like that, and
I think it's Spike. I think he had the Spike Tactical. I think that's because when they started doing that, it's cool, very subtle looking.
Like the little billet lowers.
I think he did the Bomber when they first did the Bomber. But that was cool to see that, and it was kind of pricey. Then you watched Zeph, and you start watching them. What was it called? The magazine bumps, or what do they call for the bottom of the CNC for the magazines? The lower,
the little flare mags.
Something. It's just, but it was just a little CNC part. But like, what's that Viper gun company?
Tactical Terran.
They were making them.
Yeah,
Zeph was making them.
Yeah, and then they add them to the bottom of your, so it's like a little flare, so it makes it easier to reload.
And then I blinked, and all of a sudden people started getting their at home stifling kits. And then it was like, I remember the first time I had it was a Glock 21, and I had was looking online, and I found this barrel called Storm Lake. And I was going with my Vector. It was matching my Vector. Glock 21 and Vector is 45 magazines. So like, I was like, what is this? And I mean, damn near the barrel costs as much as the gun. And I put that barrel in there. And then I put a trigger on it. And then I put one of the muzzle brakes.
That's like,
I started gathering all kinds of parts.
That's when people start coming, it's like, well, I got a lot of people. Well, I want a Glock 19, like Gen 5 MOS. Okay. And then they'll start like, well, I want to upgrade the barrel. All right. Time out, Tiger. Well, what are your plans for this Glock 19? Well, I want to plan on getting an upgraded trigger. Okay. I want to do this. I want to do that. All right, let me show you this. Let me show you this 920 shadow system.
Yeah, because did they really start getting their own polymer and then sell it? So you could just get a blank, pretty much, right?
Well, no, but the 920s are basically an upgraded. The triggers on the some people like the triggers better in the shadow systems. Some people don't. It's all personal preference. Guns are kind of like cars. You're going to have the Chevy versus Ford people.
I just like a good. I mean, that's one thing I hate about the Vector is I don't like the 5-pound gun pull.
That has been a lot of people like they'll be like, all right, what would you? That's a lot of times when people ask me about Daniel Defense, like, well, what would you recommend for this Daniel Defense? I'm like, get you a Geisley trigger. Just go ahead and spend the $300.
Are they making triggers for the Vector yet?
I'm sure they're out there. I'm sure there's somebody out there, but somebody's got to make them.
I like a 2.5. I don't want nothing like I like a 2.5 and because that's what I did for the Glock 21 and it was just
it's a smooth transition.
I don't want to go lower than that. I feel like that's good, but like when you hit that Vector and you start pulling it, I haven't looked into what they got now. Like the Vector is Gen 2. Like that time I purchased thing, they didn't have carbines. They didn't have any. It was just the second gen. They didn't have any. Now I'll see them like they're like Snow White, Stormtrooper, carbine. And I think the biggest thing that wasn't attractive about the carbine is like I try to call to get a carbine, like see if I can just add the attachment from time to time, and they're like no, and then you can't take them off. It's a rifle, and then I was at the time where where are we at now with like bump stocks and braces?
Bump stocks are illegal again.
They're legal or illegal?
They're legal.
Okay.
Braces are legal again. It's just one of those things of everything's going to change just depending on who's in, what bird of the, if it's the left wing of the bird or the right wing of the birds in office. Unfortunately, we have people in office that have no clue what they're writing, what they're doing. There's not enough gun people in there that know what they're doing. And that's the unfortunate truth. Any which way you throw it at it.
Is it like a gray area still, or
no? It's not a gray area.
So they're making better braces now.
Yes,
the braces at the time I was turned on to a brace was just a cheap little fin.
Yeah,
you put that little plastic fin. And let's see. You there? We're back. Yeah, I don't know. I caught that. Let's see. But yeah, I mean, so like I said, so now if you go in there, people can go in if they want to get a braceless stock. There's so many different names for it now.
So you can get there are some companies that don't. So you can get like a pistol tube where you can't put any like brace attachments to it. CMMG is one of the companies that'll put a tube on it. Which we can get them off. Like I said, and then you got the whole fiasco with the suppressors. That's just going to be nothing but. So right now, with the passing of the big beautiful bill, they took it where you don't have to pay the tax stamp on it, but that doesn't go into effect until January of 2026. So what a lot of companies, including myself, are doing is if you want to purchase the suppressor now and hold off on it, like we'll hold your suppressor until January. You know, you can come in January and then do the paperwork, which is not a problem. We're a power buy dealer through Silencer Shop, so you can go through Silencer Shop and order suppressors just like if you're buying it through the shop. But that's just, it's going to be a mad rush come January with all the paperwork.
What does a suppressor go for nowadays?
Just depends. Like the 22 cans can range anywhere between $400. 30 caliber cans can be upwards to $1,200-$1,400. The ones that I recommend a lot of times are the hybrids and the Omega 36M. Those are kind of like a do-all can, so you can go from 380 all the way up to 460. So you can shoot pistol, you can shoot rifles, and do it all.
This is gonna be a good way to cut. Like people were doing the Napa filters for a while.
Yeah, you can. Not that I recommend using a Napa.
But people were doing this, right?
They were. Yeah, Call of Duty, putting it on a 1911 and shooting it, but I don't recommend it.
So, do you feel like you've been making good choices with number one being a brick and mortar is tough as it is, and you're moving into like 2025, and now like we go back to the internet, and you said now your website, you can go and buy guns from your website.
Mm-hmm.
Is that something that you plan on pushing more in the future?
Hopefully not. I'm more of wanting people to actually come into the store. The reason why is I want people to have that interaction with, just more interaction with us. Because if they have questions on it, I'd more rather them, come in and answer the questions before they buy it. Not to mention, like if they're military veterans or first responders, they can get a 5% discount in store prices than online. So you can get the gun cheaper in store than what you can get it on the website. So a lot of times, if you see something like say at Palmetto, and it could be a couple dollars cheaper than what I got it at the shop, and by the time you add the transfer fee into it, you could buy it from me and not pay the transfer fee. So I could at that point may have it cheaper. So it all just depends on, but I do eventually want to have it where I do have guns in. I've noticed that a lot of people want to have their hands on the guns before they purchase it. I just, unfortunately, my dollar doesn't stretch far enough where I can put, $1,000 rifle on the wall and it just sit there for a month or two.
Yeah, but you do carry inventory in there.
I do have most of the inventory that I do have, unfortunately, is not unfortunately, but it's mostly consignment guns. I was able to scrounge up some funds. I do have a Ruger Mark IV that's brand new, and then I bought a Ruger Max 9, little everyday carry, perfect little pistol for first time shooter. That's in the shop. But majority of the new guns are on the website. At the end of the month is our tax-free weekend for firearms. So anything you see on the website you can get. If you want to kind of pre-order it, you can come in now and we can pre-order it, and then you can come in and do the paperwork on the tax-free weekend, and we can do all the paperwork then and save you the tax dollars on it. I'm again trying to push the membership to try to save people money. Like I said, just trying to do things to help people save some money, build up my shop. I got a couple organizations that we try to help out with the firearm sales and transfers and stuff like that. So the first one that we help out is obviously my church is a very important to me. So I donate to help with missions trips. So for every firearm that I sell, I donate $5 to my church. And then I help a friend of mine has Tackle 22 Fishing, which helps with try to combat veteran suicide. So that's obviously very close and important to me. So I try to help him out. And then I honor St. Martin youth baseball. I help them out. And then St. Martin High School, which is where I graduated from, I help with the girls soccer team, the girls flag football team, the boys golf team. And then I helped out the D'Iberville bass fishing team. I gave them $200 for a sponsorship, and then I helped them with the $5 donations.
Yeah. And
then this is an organization called, I keep messing it up, but I think it's Misfit Puppies. I can't remember, but it's an organization that tries to help dogs and stray animals and stuff. I keep messing up it's one of their new ones. I just got in contact with them. They try to do fostering and stuff like that with animals. So anybody that comes in the shop and says, hey, I give people the choice of where I donate the money to. I don't just donate it all to the church. So you tell me where you want me to donate the $5 to, and I donate it to them.
Yeah. So so your big thing is, I just got to get this right for people that are listening. Go in there and support Chris, and you can buy online at his website. He has a raffle on that website. He donates money. He's a veteran. But go check him out. I mean, and the situation is, he might not have all the inventory, but he has access to the inventory. Go meet Chris and support a veteran. This is kind of reason why I want to have you on and sit there and this is a situation where it is expensive to have tons of gun on the walls, but guys, he's like, would you say $25?
Yeah,
$25
transfer.
You can do a transfer. What's your hours?
Monday through Friday, we're from 10 to 5:30. But if you need me to stay later than 5:30, all you got to do is give us a call at the shop. I'll be happy to stay later if you need me to stay late. Saturday, we're from 10 to 2. Again, if you need us to stay late, just got to give us a call. Let us know. We'll be happy to stay later. Like I said, I don't mind staying late to help people out if they got questions or if they're going to,
yeah, it's like it said, support a local businessman. And like I said, go see him, let him help you out. And I got my kid down there screaming. I don't know what's going on. I don't think it's anything bad, but I think you need to got to call it tonight. And but like I said, I put his websites in the link. A few things running is there's things changing with like Noble, the brand, as I say, with there's a lot of things going on right now with some of the THC industry. So there's gonna be talking points coming up in the few. But yeah, man, it's Pink Dress Runs October 18th. Sign up pinkrestaurant.com. I appreciate all the support. Support a veteran. This is a person that battles with PTSD. He found happiness with opening a store, and he's here to service. So just check him out. And I just want to say thank you for coming on.
No, I appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
All right, I got to check on my kids. See y'all.